think legacy is about clarity. I mean, it's not about building the biggest empire. It's about creating something that reflects your values specifically, and it can be passed on, paused, or shut down on your terms, not on anyone else's.
I'm feeling like a brand new me. For the very first time, I'm wherever I'm meant to be. Brand new.
Welcome to Outsmart the Hustle, where we turn hard work into smart work, helping you focus on the high impact moves that drive your business forward without getting stuck in the grind. Hi, everyone. It's Hannah with the Outsmart the Hustle podcast. And today on the podcast, we have Julie Freed. She's created something called the Death Folder. And I know up front that sounds super intimidating and really gothic, but is it? So we're going to have her explain a little bit about her story, why she made the Death Folder, and why it's important for you to know. So, Julie, let's introduce you. Tell us a little about you, the moment and experience that prompted you to create this thing called the Death Folder.
Yes, I'm Julie. I live in Dallas and I am a new mom. And I am a former wedding planner turned virtual assistant turned system strategist and now the creator of the digital product, the Entrepreneur's Death Folder. The basis of it was about 10 years ago. My uncle emailed our whole family what was essentially a death folder. He wanted all the kids in the family to go through it with their parents. And so my mom and I did it. And then I pretty much reused the same folder when I got married. But that version was mostly about life logistics, things like here's how you would log in to cancel Netflix, or here's how you would reach our housekeeper. It didn't touch on my business at all. And so my husband would have no idea how to contact my clients or my contractors or what would happen to any of my digital files. So I searched on Amazon and on Google for something like a death folder that was specific to small businesses. And I came up empty. There are so many out there for partners to fill out with their spouse and with their parents and things like that. But there was nothing that I could find that was small business oriented. So I sat on the idea for years and did nothing about it. And then I finally built it last year.
That's so cool. So when so many entrepreneurs like think about this, what do you think has them avoid thinking about the worst case scenario? Like, why don't people do this more often?
So for sure, I first let me just say though, it is called the Entrepreneur's Death Folder. It is built for worst case scenarios, but you really can use it if you're going on maternity leave. You can use it if you're planning to take a sabbatical. If you are somebody who maybe has mental health or chronic illness issues and you might have to step away from your business for a while, or you could even use it to train team members. But I did really lean into like the death folder aspect of it because we are wired to plan for success and not survival. Entrepreneurs
Mm.
really live in the future. We are dreaming about scaling and not dying. But there's this assumption that, planning for the worst is somehow admitting defeat, but avoiding it doesn't protect you. It just means you are leaving a giant mess for somebody else to clean up.
Mm. Yeah. What does your own entrepreneurial death folder look like? Especially when you started to first put it together. Like, does it not look the same as it did the first time that you did it?
So different. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it started as a total mess. It was just like in the notes app on my, I think like 2008 iPhone. Like,
What?
like it was just like scribbles and jot downs. And then I finally like typed it up into a Google Doc and there was not really a lot of formatting and blah, blah, blah. And oh, I printed it out and I would stick sticky notes on it. It was just messy. It finally became, for both my mom and my husband, a clean and password protected file on a thumb drive, which I do still say, yeah, you can do this. But now both my business and personal folders live securely on one password, which is what I recommend for others to use in the death folder.
Yeah. No, one password's fairly good. How does the death folder reflect the mission behind Dallas Girl Friday? Because when I see Dallas Girl Friday, it's almost like
Totally.
so happy. You know what I mean? And then we
Yeah.
have the death folder. So, as someone new on the outside looking in, is there a connector between the two?
So, this is something I really thought about because I was like, do I do the death folder under a personal brand? Do I kind of try to separate things? Do I make it its own thing? And the more I thought about it, Dallas Girl Friday was always about giving creative entrepreneurs and wedding professionals the systems and the support to run things smoother behind the scenes. And the death folder is that final act on that mission. It's not about the day to day anymore. It's about protecting the legacy you've built. One helps you run your business, the other helps you safeguard it. So
Mm,
they go together somewhat. I tried to make them
hmm
go together.
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense. When you normally tell people about this for the first time, what is their typical reaction and like what do you want it to be?
Well, I mean, there's really a reason that I leaned into the morbidity of it, to kind of just make people remember it, almost
Mm,
shock them into remembering it. The tagline for the death folder is "You built this business from the ground up. What happens when you're 6 feet under?" And a lot of people, yes, like that, say, "Wow, that is dark," and then laugh really hard.
yeah.
But they also immediately follow it with, "Wait, everyone needs this. Why hasn't someone created this before?" So I want
hmm
that mixture of humor and the light bulb moment. I mean, it's morbid, but I really leaned into that because the discomfort is what I think makes it memorable.
Yeah, for sure. It's really brilliant. It's kind of got that
Thank you.
shock to it where you're
Yeah.
like, ah, death. And then you're like, oh, wait, this is
Yeah.
important. How do you help entrepreneurs shift from that kind of like fear-based avoidance into a more empowered preparation?
Just by trying to normalize the conversation. I want to make
Mm,
it less scary and more strategic. I mean, this isn't about doom, it's about dignity. Reminding people that preparation is a privilege and you're not doing this because you're worried and frantic and paranoid. You're doing it because you are a leader. When people kind of learn to understand that this is an act of generosity and not just pure anxiety, they engage differently. It's no longer this horrible, morbid task. It's just another system that they are putting in place to protect what they've built.
mm. No, that's super good. So definitely the people that are like the YOLO people of the world may not be your
Yeah,
most ideal clients.
true. Most
Right?
people are just going to do what they're going to do.
Yeah, yeah. But I think that forethought is just so special. Like, especially when people are trying to build legacies for things. It's like, well, what do we do if you're not here to manage it, right? That's just so thoughtful. Really, it truly is
Thank
kind.
you.
Like, yeah. What's one myth you feel like people believe when they're planning for the unthinkable?
Um, Probably that this product is only for people with like a family or with big teams. I feel like I hear a lot from like solopreneurs who think, if something happens to me, everything will just stop. But even if your business is, teeny tiny, it still has ripple effects. There's still clients and unfinished products and financial accounts, and somebody has to untangle all of that. So planning is not just for these big guys, it's for everyone.
Yeah, I totally agree. Can you talk about like why this planning is sort of a form of love and leadership?
Yeah, because it really takes that invisible emotional labor that makes life easier for the people you care about, and it takes it off of them. You're anticipating needs, you are reducing chaos and offering clarity at a time when the people in your life need it the most.
Yeah.
It's leadership because you're really owning those hard decisions up front. And it's love because you're sparing the people in your life the burden of the guesswork in the middle of their grief. I mean, there's there's nothing more generous than that.
Yeah, no, that's super good. Was there a situation that, because I know that your uncle inspired you to do it ultimately, but there was something maybe that sparked it to happen in between now and then like your uncle, like to really flush this idea out and to make it into something for the masses to have?
Yeah, the thing that sparked it for me to actually get off my booty and make it was going through the adoption process with my husband. We adopted our daughter at the very end of December 2024. And just knowing that, to give you context, some people get matched with a birth mother at, when she's 4 months pregnant and they've got all this time to plan and things like that. My husband and I had 8 hours. And I knew
Wow.
it was very likely that we could get what's called a drop-in case. She was already born, and we went and picked her up at the hospital. We ended up being with her in the NICU for about 2 weeks before she could be discharged because she was born 2 months early. But it was really thinking about all of that and about her or the future baby. We didn't know it was a her at the
Hmm.
time. Um, and thinking like, I may have to very quickly step away from my business. And what is going to happen if I have to do that? So really kind of putting all of that in place and like what I thought I would need is how it really got built.
Yeah, no, it's so good. What, without giving it all away, and you can only answer
Yeah.
this as much as you feel comfortable, right? But like, what are some key components that every entrepreneur should include in their own death folder?
Yeah, absolutely. Passwords, login info, um, financial details, and not just like your bank account, but all the subscriptions you have and pay monthly, PayPal information, Stripe information, Square information, legal documents, copies of your contract, your EIN number, key contractors, your attorney, your CPA, your VA, clients, current client status and instructions, SOPs, personal logistics for those with like kind of a blended life work assets and stuff. We
Yeah.
could certainly combine those.
Yeah. How do you guide people through organizing like all these digital assets, passwords, SOPs? Like, these are a lot of things. How do you not make it so
It's
overwhelming?
it's so much to do. I encourage people, the biggest thing is to treat it like a living document. Mine gets updated all the time. You don't have to finish this all at once. So I break it down into categories with really simple prompts. It is not just a wall of text thrown at you in an ebook form. I mean, it is a fill in the blank checkbox, if this, then that.
Cool.
I recommend using one password to store everything securely because you can go back and constantly update it. And then I even offer guidance within the product on how to share that limited access with a trusted contact just in case.
Hmm. That's really cool. Do you approach this differently with solopreneurs versus team-based companies?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because solopreneurs usually just need to name like that one person who can step in and make decisions, spouse, best friend, trusted peer in the industry. For team-based businesses, the focus needs to shift to clear roles. Who's going to communicate with client? Who pauses or continues deliverables? Who handles logins or finances? So I help people create kind of that delegation map so no one is left asking, who does what now?
Mm, that's good. What are some like let's say three simple things that someone could do today to start preparing their business for the unexpected? Because I can almost guarantee that maybe a lot of people listening to this haven't even thought about it before. So what are
N-
just some three
Nobody
simple
has.
things they could
Most
do?
people
Yeah.
never think about it and want to
Yeah.
never think about it.
Mm-hmm.
I would say start using a password manager like 1Password. I have said that so many times. I should really be an affiliate for them somehow.
Yeah.
Get at me, 1Password. Give me
Yeah.
some money. Um,
We'll tag them.
list list out your key people, your contractors, your current clients, even like your biz besties and like what roles they play. And then I would draft like a short email or document called something like if something ever happens to me, and just explain where your business lives, digitally, what should happen short term, and who to contact.
That's so good. Thanks for sharing those. I know that'll
Of
help a lot of
course.
people just immediately. So, how does preparing for death really help entrepreneurs live and lead better right now?
I think that it brings a lot of focus, because when you have to write down what matters, what to keep, and what to shut down, you're really leading with intention. You're making better business decisions and just better decisions overall, I think, because you understand what is essential and what is just noise. I think it removes a layer of anxiety that you might not even realize that you're carrying because we are usually doing all of the things ourselves. And then once it's handled, you can really go back to that dreaming big mentality and not having that what if cloud over your head.
Mm, yeah, that's really cool. So, do you feel like that your role in a way helps them plan legacy? Like, how do you help others define that through this process?
Yeah, because I think legacy is about clarity. I mean, it's not about building the biggest empire. It's about creating something that reflects your values specifically, and it can be passed on, paused, or shut down on your terms, not on anyone
Mhm.
else's. The entrepreneur's death folder really forces people to define what that looks like. Do you want your business to continue without you? Do you want it to be sold? Do you want it just to quietly close down? I mean, that's a powerful conversation that most people never have.
Yeah, just knowing how it ends. Like,
Yeah,
I definitely tell people about like know how your business ends because along that journey, it's really going to define what path you take. And if we're just meandering around any
yeah,
beaten path, we're not going to get to our destination. So, part of that I feel like is like the cherry on top. Like,
yeah,
really, it's like now you're prepared for it and then you know where you're going, nothing's tying you back. It's like you have all this freedom in a way,
yeah.
right? That's so cool. And from your experience in leading people through the death folder, how do they feel once they've gone through the whole process?
Lighter, more
Mm-hmm.
confident,
Yeah.
um, proud, like they've, checked off something that's been on that like someday list forever. I want people to feel like it's not a sad task. This is a systems flex.
Mm. Yeah. I love that. It's a flex. So I know that we're talking a lot about like death and stuff. So let's throw in a just a random question here of just like what's a favorite snack that defines your personality?
Okay, I have actually thought a lot about this question.
Really?
Yes, because this is actually a question that I sometimes ask on my podcast.
Oh.
Yeah, I have asked this question before because I think it's such a fun, silly question. So I have been like, Julie, what would your answer be? And I had to come up with that my answer would be a warm chocolate chip cookie with sea
Ooh.
salt. So it's
Ooh.
like comforting, it's classic, it's sweet, but like it's got a bite to it.
Yeah, I love that. That's good. Now, if I had to choose one, I think it would be strawberry licorice, like
Oh,
specifically the Australian Daryl Lee brand. Shout out
okay.
to
Never
Daryl
had it.
Lee. I just recently got on it and it's like my whole thing right now. So, but I've always loved strawberry licorice ever since I was a kid, but really truly this brand has like nailed down soft licorice
I love
where
that.
it's just it's so pleasant, it's so sweet, but it's just got like a little bit of strawberry in it where it's not like out in your face, but it's like I know how to make a good flavor and to make a little bit of an impression, but leave you wanting more. So
Yeah.
it's like really addicting. I love it a lot. And I don't really know how to describe the snack as if it were me. I feel like you did that really good with a chocolate chip cookie, though.
I mean, I thought
So
about it a lot.
yeah,
On the spot, I
it's
would have been
it's
like, I
pretty
don't know,
good.
Cheetos. I don't know. I just
Yeah.
loved them. I love Cheetos.
Yeah. I mean, same. That I don't know how what that would mean about my personality if I
Yeah.
described I love Cheetos. Yeah, so we'll turn back now that we got some giggles in. What's something unexpected or beautiful that you feel like has come from helping people prepare for their death?
I think it really opens the door to deeper conversations, with spouses, with parents, with friends, with business partners, um, and even with yourself. Um, I think people might realize they haven't given themselves enough credit for everything that they've
Mm,
built. There's something really profound that can happen when you start taking ownership of your own legacy.
wow. That's so good. So good,
Thank
Julie.
you.
So where can people go to just get started and how can they kind of like help normalize this conversation with, biz besties, partners, family, their teams? Um,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
You can look into more what it's about or purchase the death folder at dallasgirlfriday.com/death dash folder. And just to bring it up with somebody, I mean, I always say start with humor. I just would say something like, hey, you got this thing that's like a will for my business. Want to make it a wine night and do it together? Like, just like
Yeah.
normalize it by treating it like any
Hmm.
other smart system you would put in place to protect your work and to protect yourself.
Yeah, honestly, a really good girls' night. Like, you know how they
Yes.
do vision board nights? It could just be
Yeah.
like, let's all make our death folders together
Death
and just
folder
make it cute.
night.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Julie, we're gonna have all of the ways that people can get a hold of you in the show notes, and then the
Wonderful.
link that you just shouted out will also be in the show notes. So, anyone who wants to check out Julie Freed and what she's doing for entrepreneurs, you guys can go down there and go give her a follow. And yeah, that's pretty much it, Julie. I really appreciate you taking the
Thank
time
you
to
so much for
share.
having me.
Yes, it's been so good. Like, I really feel like we need to think more about just the end,
Yeah.
not like we're in a way that it consumes us, but just so that we're
Yeah.
prepared and we're not leaving a whole mess behind us. Because
I
it
think
really
if you
does.
if you don't work on the death folder is how it can consume you.
Mm, see, more wisdom just dropping out of Julie's mouth. Oh, that's so good. Well, we're going to see you guys next Tuesday. Thanks so much for tuning in.
Feeling like a brand new me. Brand new, brand new. Feeling like a brand new me.
Outsmart the Hustle is produced by Booked by Strategy, a film business course. Follow us at Booked by Strategy literally anywhere for more creative business tips and freebies, and check out the course and live workshop that happens every year at www.bookedbystrategy.com. Wedding videographers and photographers. The Booked by Strategy workshop is a 3.5-day in-person event this December 2nd through the 5th, built to help you attract aligned couples to your brand and book without discounting your worth. Hear from voices like Jai Long, Layli Amadi, Justin Porter, Jack Callagher, and me, Hannah McGinty. Only 40 tickets are being sold and spots are filling up fast. Click the link in the show notes or check out bookedbystrategy.com to snag your seat before it's gone.